The palace on the Palatine Hill was never quiet. Even at night, torches hissed in their brackets, slaves whispered along corridors, and somewhere a lyre was always being tuned. But in the year 54, when the poison finally did its work on old Claudius, the palace held its breath. Nero was 17, a boy with soft red-gold curls, a voice that could charm birds from the trees, and eyes that already carried something restless, something hungry. His mother, Agrippina the Younger, had orchestrated everything: the mushrooms, the will, the dawn proclamation, and now she needed the boy polished, quickly, before the Senate smelled weakness. So they sent for Seneca. He arrived from his villa at dawn, wrapped in a plain gray cloak, looking more like a provincial schoolmaster than the richest man in Rome. The guards at the gate barely glanced at him. Inside, Agrippina waited in a room painted with scenes of triumph: elephants, captives, laurel wreaths. She dismissed her attendants with a flick of her wrist. "You will make him an emperor," she said. No greeting, no thanks for leaving his books and gardens. Seneca bowed, not low, just enough. "I will teach him to rule himself first," he answered. "The rest follows, or it does not." Agrippina's smile was thin. "See that it does." The lessons began the next morning in a small chamber overlooking the Circus Maximus. Nero sprawled on a couch, popping grapes, while Seneca stood, no chair for the teacher. "Tell me something useful," Nero said, voice lazy, almost bored. Seneca picked up a silver cup from the table between them. He turned it slowly so the light slid across the chasing of nymphs and satyrs. "This cup," he said, "cost more than a legionary earns in 20 years. It is beautiful. It is useless for anything but display. One day it will be melted down for coins, or stolen, or dropped by a clumsy slave. Do you own it, Caesar, or does it own you?" Nero laughed, delighted. "I own it. I own everything." "Then prove it," Seneca said. "Leave it untouched for 7 days." Nero's eyes narrowed, half challenge, half amusement. He did not touch the cup again that week. Seneca marked the small victory in silence. The months blurred into years. Dawn lessons on rhetoric, Seneca making the boy recite Demosthenes until his voice cracked. Afternoons on philosophy, Plato's Republic read aloud while they walked the gardens. Evenings, Seneca read Nero's poems and corrected them gently, line by line, teaching rhythm and restraint. There were good days. One spring afternoon, Nero recited a passage from Epictetus without prompting. "No man is free who is not master of himself." Seneca felt something like pride flare in his chest, sharp and unexpected. There were bad ones, too. Nights when Nero returned from the theater drunk on applause, demanding Seneca listen to new songs about incestuous gods and burning cities. Seneca listened, face calm, but later wrote in his private journal, "The boy mistakes intensity for depth." Agrippina watched everything. She approved of the polish. Nero's speeches now drew tears from the Senate, but she hated the quiet hours the boy spent with his tutor. She began interrupting lessons, sweeping in with lists of men to exile, provinces to tax, marriages to arrange. One winter evening, after she left, Nero flung a scroll across the room. "She treats me like a child!" Seneca retrieved the scroll, smoothed it. "Then stop behaving like one." Nero stared. For a moment, the old, sulky boy returned. Then something colder slid across his face. "You forget who I am." "No," Seneca said quietly. "I am trying to help you remember." The fracture widened slowly. Nero began surrounding himself with new voices, actors, charioteers, flatterers who told him he was Apollo reborn. Seneca watched the circle tighten, felt himself pushed to the edge. Still, he stayed. He wrote On Clemency and presented it to Nero on his 20th birthday, a mirror held up to a young ruler asking him to choose mercy over terror. Nero read it aloud to the court, voice ringing, eyes shining. For a week he pardoned prisoners and lowered taxes. Rome exhaled. Then came Britannicus, Claudius's true son, 14, quiet, watchful. At a banquet he drank from a cup meant for Nero. The poison worked fast. The boy convulsed, foamed, died at the table. Nero joked that Britannicus had always been prone to fits. The guests laughed too loudly. Seneca did not laugh. Later, alone, he stared at his reflection in a bronze mirror and saw an old man with tired eyes. The next morning he asked for retirement. Nero refused, sweetly. "I still need my teacher." In 59, Agrippina's turn came. The rigged boat, the swimmers in the dark, the soldiers on the shore. Seneca wrote the speech Nero delivered to the Senate, a masterpiece of fake sorrow and invented threats. The senators applauded. Seneca listened from the back, hands folded, feeling the words taste like ash in his own mouth. After that, the lessons stopped. Nero no longer asked for books. He asked for applause, for races, for songs that lasted until dawn. Seneca withdrew to his estates, wrote letters to Lucilius about tranquility, about how little a man truly needs. But the palace still sent for him sometimes, late-night couriers with sealed notes. "Come, advise, lend money, sign this." Each time he went. Each time he returned older. One night in 64, the Great Fire began. For 9 days Rome burned. When it was over, half the city was ash. Rumors flew. Nero had sung of Troy's burning while the flames rose. Nero blamed the Christians. Crucifixions lit the gardens at night. Seneca stayed in the country, writing about providence and fate. He did not come to the city again. The end came quietly, as we know. The centurion at the gate, the hemlock, the bath. But in the final hour, as the poison crept and the scribes scratched wax tablets beside him, Seneca spoke once of the boy he had taught. "I tried to give him a soul large enough for an empire," he whispered. Instead, the empire devoured whatever soul he had. Then he smiled, small and sad. Still, there were mornings when he almost understood. The steam rose around the old man like incense. Outside, the cypress trees stood dark against a Roman sky, and somewhere far away, a young emperor practiced a new song, voice sweet, eyes empty, the monster finally free of his tutor.